Hey, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to learn about Azure Multi-Factor Authentication. My name is Sushant Sutish, and I'm your trainer for this AZ303 certification course. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. So what is Azure Multi-Factor Authentication or Azure MFA? Multi-factor authentication is a process where a user is prompted during the sign-in process for an additional form of authentication, such as to enter a code on their cell phone or to provide a fingerprint scan. If you only use a password to authenticate a user, it leaves an insecure vector for attack. If the password is weak or have been exposed elsewhere, is it really the user signing in with the username and password? Or is it an attacker? So, when you require a second form of authentication, security is increased as this additional factor isn't something that easy for an attacker to obtain or duplicate. Azure multi-factor authentication works by requiring two or more of the following authentication methods. Something you know, which is typically a password, and something you have, such as a trusted device that is not easily duplicated, like a phone or a hardware key, and something you are, which is a biometric like a fingerprint or a face scan. So users can register themselves for both self-service password reset and Azure multi-factor authentication in one step to simplify the onboarding experience. And administrators can define what forms of secondary authentication can be used, and Azure multi-factor authentication can also be required when users perform a self-service password reset to further secure that process. Further, Azure multi-factor authentication provides additional security by requiring a second form of authentication and delivers a strong authentication using a range of authentication methods. So let's look into available verification methods. When a user sign into an application or service and receive an MFA prompt, they can choose from one of the registered forms of additional verification. So, what are the different forms of verification? The first one is you could use Microsoft Authenticator app, or you could use an OAuth hardware token, or you can use an SMS or receive a phone call as well. So, let's look into these authentication methods one by one. First option is call to phone. So, you can be placed an automated voice call and the user answers the call and presses the hash key in the phone keypad to authenticate. The next method is text message to phone. In this instance, the system sends a text message that contains a verification code, and the user is prompted to enter the verification code into the sign in interface. This process is called one-way SMS. And the two-way SMS means that the user must text back a particular code, and the two-way SMS is deprecated and no longer supported in Azure. The third method is notification through mobile app. In this mechanism, you will receive a push notification to your phone or a registered device, and the user views this notification and selects approve to complete the verification. And the fourth method is verification code from mobile app. And the Microsoft Authenticator app generates a new OAuth verification code every 30 seconds. And the user enters the verification code into the sign-in interface. And the Authenticator app is available on your Android and iOS platforms. Now let me show you how you can find the multi-factor authentication settings. On your Azure Active Directory, you can go under Security and you can go under Manage and click on Multi-Factor Authentication. So this is where you would be able to find all the settings like account lockout, block unblock users, fraud alert settings, notification, tokens, phone call settings, etc. So to turn on MFA for users, you can go to the Legacy Multi-Factor Authentication portal to make it happen. So go under Azure Active Directory, go to All Users tab, and click on Multi-Factor Authentication. This opened another console which is kind of legacy, which Microsoft will be porting into the new portal. This is where you can see who all are the users which is enabled with multi-factor authentication, who it is disabled. You can drill down this detail by using this drop down menu. You can select a user, and on the right hand side, you can click on enable or disable, or click on manage users to select other methods as well. Another important settings for MFA can be found under service settings. This is where you would be able to enable app passwords and provide trusted IPs. This is kind of similar to the trusted IPs we are going to see on the main Azure portal as well. And then we have the verification options. These are the options we just now talked about: call to the phone, text message, notification, and verification code to the mobile app. There is also a section to cache passwords so that users do not have to authenticate on trusted devices. The number of days before a user must re-authenticate on trusted device can also be configured with the values in between 1 to 90 days. I think the default is 14 days. And once you make the necessary changes, you can hit on the save button. Now let us look into some of the multi-factor authentication settings. So you have different settings like account lockout, block unblock users, fraud alert, notification, OAuth tokens, phone call settings, and providers. So let me take you to the portal to show you where you can find these settings. Within the Azure portal, go to your Azure AD, under security, select MFA. Under settings, you can find these settings. So first, let's look into account lockouts. This is where you can find temporary locked account in the multi-factor authentication service. If there are too many denied authentication attempts in a row, that locks out an account. This feature only applies to users who enter a PIN to authenticate. The next setting is block and unblock users. This setting is used to block specified users from being able to receive multi-factor authentication requests. Any authentication attempts for blocked user are automatically denied, and user remained blocked for 90 days from that time they are blocked. Another setting is fraud alert. This setting helps you configure settings related to user ability to report fraudulent verification requests. Notification helps you enable notification of events from MFA server. OAuth token is used in cloud-based Azure MFA environment to manage OAuth tokens for users. And phone call settings helps you configure settings related to phone calls and greetings for cloud and on-premises environments. Providers is where you will be able to show any existing authentication providers that you may have associated with your account. Next thing is reports for Azure multi-factor authentication. So there are these important reports you can get from Azure: blocked user history, usage and fraud alerts, usage for on-premises components, bypassed user history, and server status. So let me show you where you can find these reports. So first, blocked user history report will be available under security MFA block user unblocks. Usage and fraud alerts are available under Azure AD sign-ins. So this is where you would be able to see details about information about all the users which is flagged for any sort of fraud alerts. The next report is usage for on-premises components. This report can be found under security, MFA, and activity report. This is where you can find information on overall usage of MFA through the NPS extension, ADFS, and MFA server. One-time bypass information can be found over here. And the last report is server status. And this displays the status of multi-factor authentication servers associated to your account. So that's where you can find all these 5 reports for MFA. That concludes this episode. In the next lesson, we're going to learn about self-service password reset. I will see you on the next one. Until then, take care.